BoogeyMan band coming round the bend. Is BoogeyMan band? Is BoogeyMan band?
Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends. Thanks so much for stopping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. This is a BoogeyMan update video, something I haven't done in over a year. The last time I did one of these was back on June 12th of last year. And during that video, I talked primarily about the fact that my writing had stalled. I was trying to finish up my book, My Life in the Lot, which is done. It's been edited. I'm in the process of getting it copyrighted, so I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm kind of toying with the fact of going with a publisher or self-publishing. I don't know yet, but that is still ongoing, and I do want people to know that. But last year I was trying to finish up the last chapter of the book. I ended up writing another chapter because of the Salem Slot remake that we would eventually get in early October 3rd it premiered, but I actually got to see it a week early thanks to my friend Critical Overlord, who let me know about getting a screener. So I did include a chapter about that in the book that wasn't originally planned. But that being said, that's what was going on last year. Right now, it's like, it's been, I haven't really talked about everything that's been going on, but if you follow me on Instagram, you kind of know that this has been a rough year for me. The year started out rough. We had another house issue that we actually discovered Christmas week, and got that taken care of. But this has been a year that has been trying, to say the least. Not only personal matters, but also professional matters. In fact, this is the busiest I've ever been, and I've been with this company almost 8 years. As of October 16th, I've been with the company 8 years. It took a lot for me to sometimes do videos. In fact, the videos that I did probably in early June to probably right before I did my first video on the Crystal Lake Nightmares Con that I went to on August the 8th, 9th, and 10th, I thought my videos were absolutely god-awful, and I just wasn't my old boogeyman self. As people know, on the 25th of April, I published a video paying tribute to my grandmother. I call her Mama. Her name was Bernie, and we lost her on April 3rd, actually 11 days before my 51st birthday. So my mom was going through a lot, and I was trying to be there for my family, supportive, and I also helped, with planning everything. I wrote the eulogy. All of that was going on at the same time that I was getting all this work assigned to me at my job. And there's been some other things that have happened this year that have scared me. A friend of my wife's was diagnosed with cancer. My wife thought she was having a stroke at one point. I had to rush her to the emergency room. That was right after her birthday. I lost my cousin, Jamie. It's been a hard year, and I just have not felt like myself. I was getting scared. I was going through really bad depression, and there was a moment where I even, for about a month, went back to therapy, just because I couldn't deal with what was going on. I was having trouble sleeping. That's what started it. In May of this year, about maybe less than a month after my grandmother's funeral, I started having waking kind of moments where I would wake up in the middle of the night with panic attacks, heart racing, couldn't go back to sleep, or if I did, it would take me about an hour to go back to sleep. And it was right around the week that Final Destination Bloodlines came out that I had an altercation, sort of a disagreement with a coworker who happened to be in sales on a couple of my calls with a client. One of them was with a third party that we were working with, and the other one was actually with the client himself. And I got embarrassed. It added to the stress I was going through. And that night, and I still remember it clearly, it was the 13th of May, I couldn't sleep. And the next day I had so much to do. I had a big install that I was doing, and I started to feel like I was losing control of things. I just felt like I was having a hard time concentrating. And that week was trying. It was my niece's birthday, her 15th birthday. I also had, a couple things that I had to deal with. I had a car issue that I had to deal with that week. My taillight went out. Everything was just sort of getting to me. And I just didn't feel like I was 100% dialed in like I usually am. But then the next week started pretty well, and I started to feel a little bit better. And then it was right around Memorial Day weekend. It was actually 24th of May that it hit me like a truck. And it was another night, you know, I had kind of struggled. I had kind of got the sleep issue handled, but that night I couldn't sleep and I was stressed out, and we were going to be doing a family thing the next day, going to see Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and going out to, you know, lunch, fun stuff, you know, with my mom and my uncle, and my wife and I were all going to do that, and I was a mess. And I felt like I was falling apart, and it never really let up. And the next 3 months of my life, especially, I'm going to say primarily June and July, I was a shell of who I used to be. I thought I was coming unglued. I went to therapy. I was having panic attacks. I thought I needed to, at one point I even went to the hospital thinking that there was something wrong with me. It was bad. And I usually don't talk about this kind of stuff. I mean, usually it's vague stuff that I talk about here when I do an update video, but I want to apologize to my viewers, to my fellow fiends who have been supporting me all this time, because I feel like I've laxed on a lot of things. I feel like my content, with the exception of, I feel like the content got good after I went to the Crystal Lake Nightmares, which I have to say my friend John Russell is a godsend for talking me into going to that. Thank you so much, John. You saved me, and that is when I started to feel a little bit better. Not that I was out of the woods yet, but I felt like I was coming out of this shit that I was going through. But I feel like my content improved after that con. But before that, I hated everything I put out. Everything, from my Friday the 13th video to even my spooky screenings on I Know What You Did Last Summer. I hated everything. I felt like everything felt forced. Nothing felt natural. I felt like I was grasping at straws. I would do multiple takes on things, which, you know, we all do as content creators from time to time. But it was just really, really bad. And I know there's a lot of comments I never got back to. I've been promising the Vertigo video since I shot the first footage for it, and that's going back to the 20th of July. I just have been all over the map, and I haven't been able to focus. And yeah, it's been one of the worst years I've ever had, and I really felt like I was losing me. I felt like I was losing my happiness, my love for everything. It was just taking its toll on me and destroying me. And it was all just anxiety and sadness and depression. And my grandmother passing was a huge chapter of my life. And I think that what I should have done at the time is I should have taken a break from work. I should have taken some time because I had it. And I should have just realized that once the funeral was over, once everything was done, that's when it hit me. After I did the memorial video on the 25th of April, and finally I was working on it for like a week, and I actually shot it the day of the burial. We got home from that. We actually ordered my birthday cake that day, because we were going to celebrate my birthday on Easter, which was that coming weekend. And I went into when we got home, I went into the horror zone and I shot that video. And for the next week, I put in all the footage of my grandmother, from videos to audio that I have kept from messages that she had left me. And once it was all done, I just remember I was starting to slowly I just didn't feel right. I felt like I was just falling apart, and then it just led into what happened in mid-May. But I feel a lot better, and I have a lot to look forward to. And I just, again, wanted to do this to thank everyone for all their kind words, for everybody that has reached out to me, whether it's been here, where I've talked briefly about what was going on, but also on Instagram, where I'm a little bit more frank about how I've been feeling. With regards to the Vertigo video, that's something that's probably going to be a long gestating project for me. I don't want to rush it. That might be my year-end video before I break down like my favorite films for the year, my favorite horror films. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching. I know this wasn't really showcasing anything. I do have one video that I shot back on Labor Day that I'm going to be posting this week, and it's just my first visit to Spirit Halloween and showcasing a gift that my wife gave me. So I'm just going to be posting that later this week. I'm hopeful that the Conjuring Last Rites and the Long Walk videos of spooky screenings will be coming this week as well. Thank you so much everyone for watching. I hope everyone's doing well. I promise I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always.